solving the last 10% on hand tracking is going to be hard.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. There's a lot of challenges, and it's interesting. I think the challenges are a combination, again, of technical and social or behavioral. So onboarding someone and teaching them gestures can be quite challenging. So take the example of keyboards. Virtual reality and augmented reality keyboards have always been a challenge because the most intuitive thing to do is to blow it up so it's very large and just press the buttons in midair. But that's very tiring. If you continually press a long string of buttons in midair, it's much more tiring than using a keyboard. One alternative is to use a finger pointer. So you shoot a ray out of your index finger and you point at the letter you want, and then you pinch your other hand to select the letter. And that's a much more efficient system, but it's very challenging to onboard a user and teach them something that is very different and very new to them. Hand tracking has the benefit that if you do teach someone direct manipulation to reach out and grab with their hands, that's extremely intuitive because it's what we've all done since we were babies to interact with the physical world. And it's much more accessible because it doesn't rely on someone having any experience with controllers or with, for example, video game devices. They can just reach out and grab. But any more complex onboarding than that, you have to very carefully think about how you're going to introduce that to the user. How do you want to visualize that? Do you use ghost hands? Do you use diagrams? Do you use voice commands? And another challenge is diversity within users. So you may have some users with very small hands, and for camera-based hand tracking, that can present a challenge. Skin color often isn't as much of a challenge as you'd think because a lot of these devices use infrared, so that's sort of irrelevant. But things like missing fingers or having a hand tattoo, or for example, some users can't, because of access needs, can't raise their hands above a certain height. So you really have to think about the diversity of users. One thing I find very interesting is wearables that read that are basically neural interfaces that you wear on the wrist. And that allows things like CTRL Labs, which have been acquired by Facebook. And that allows users without fingers to still do hand tracking.